NIO is one of the most speculated stocks in the electric vehicle sector. In April 2020, NIO was costing $3 a share. Now, NIO is costing around $40 a share, an increase of more than 1,000% in less than a year. NIO has been founded by William Li in 2018, and in 2020, NIO has sold 36,000 vehicles, a growth of 111% year-on-year. NIO is a Chinese electric vehicle manufacturer headquartered in Shanghai. The company, which describes itself as the next generation car company, develops premium smart electric cars that feature advanced technologies such as artificial intelligence, for example. It's one of the largest electric vehicle manufacturers in China. Like Tesla, it's seen as a very popular brand, and eToro has actually named NIO the most popular stock on their platform. So obviously comes the question, should you invest in that stock? Is that a long-term buy, or is it just only a mirage? That's what we'll see in this video. I'll also share with you my opinion on NIO and what I think about that stock, so make sure you stick until the end of the video. And if you like this NIO analysis and you like me to do more reviews on some stocks, please make sure you comment the stock below and you subscribe to my channel to make sure you don't miss any new video. The first bullish point in NIO's favor is the growth that they have experienced, especially in 2020. Even though the COVID has slowed down production and delivery not only for NIO but for most of the companies in the world, NIO's growth has more than doubled in 2020 year-on-year. It has sold around 10,000 vehicles over the last quarter against 3,500 vehicles over the same quarter in 2019. The growth is due for several reasons, the first one being the Chinese government is encouraging the acquisition of electric vehicles, pushing NIO's sales further, and also one major reason is the electric vehicle boom. In 2020, we have seen a lot of electric vehicle stocks just skyrocket, whether it's Tesla, XPEV, NIO. It's been a sector with a lot of volatility and it's been a very trendy sector. There's also the narrative for the greener future in general. Most of the world is agreeing on creating a greener future, pushing renewable energies, and that's where electric vehicles have their place. For example, California Governor Gavin Newsom just signed an executive order banning the sale of gas-powered cars by 2035. In Europe, automakers are being forced to sell more electric vehicles after lawmakers ordered them to cut CO2 emissions by 40% by 2021. And to show you the growth of NIO, let's look at the number of deliveries from 2019 to 2020 quarter per quarter. Over the last 2 quarters in 2020, NIO has seen a huge growth compared to 2019 over the same quarters. In 2019, over the second quarter, it has delivered 3,500 vehicles compared to 2020, where it delivered 10,000 vehicles over the second quarter. Over the third quarter of 2019, NIO had delivered 4,799 vehicles, whereas in 2020 over the third quarter, it has delivered 12,000 vehicles, a huge growth compared to 2019. Also in Q3, NIO began the delivery of the new, more affordable EC6 electric crossover and launched its car battery as a service business. The comparison between NIO and Tesla becomes more and more present as they are both aiming for cheaper and more affordable electric vehicles. NIO's new EC6 electric crossover really generated a lot of demand from the market, and it's a sporty, youth-oriented electric coupe SUV. It's seen as a rival to the upcoming Tesla Model Y in China. On top of that, NIO is launching a new electric sedan set to launch in 2021, which is supposed to challenge the Tesla Model 3 currently in operation. Now that we talked about the good points about NIO, the fact that they had a very good growth in 2020, let's cover the negative points, and trust me, there are some real negative points to pay attention to. Even if NIO has seen a huge growth during 2020 and especially with the COVID pandemic, and that's something that is at their credit, there are some really dark points to talk about. First of all, NIO isn't making any profit yet. NIO has never been profitable ever. While the company reports sales growth as we saw before, the net income has always been negative since the beginning. So investing in NIO essentially means investing in a net loss company, which is definitely a pushback for a lot of investors out there. As much as NIO might be selling electric vehicles right now and is actually very trendy, a lot of brands such as General Motors, BMW, Mercedes are also building electric vehicles, and they have much more experience in the car manufacturing industry compared to NIO, who's really new in that industry. And apparently NIO will expand to Europe in 2021, and I'm really curious to see how they're going to compete with such brands such as Mercedes, BMW, who are developing their own electric vehicles. And the difference between, for example, NIO and the German car manufacturers is that the German car manufacturers are the best ones on the planet, and that's going to be very interesting to see how NIO is going to try to capture the market share from those very big companies. Another reason to be skeptical about NIO is the fact that it's a state-owned automobile manufacturer. The reason why it could be a problem is that the Chinese government partially finances NIO. At the end of 2019, NIO had said that they needed money from an external source to survive, and in 2020, NIO completed a $1.4 billion bailout from the Chinese government. And NIO representatives said that we may lose control. That's their words regarding their car operations. So that's quite worrying to see that NIO's representatives are saying that they might lose control over their company because the Chinese government is now a partial owner of the company. And finally, the other bearish point is the extreme valuation that NIO has. It has a market capitalization that is equaling $72 billion, more than the market capitalization of General Motors. The problem with that valuation is that a lot of investors call that a bubble because there's just no real justification of the status of that market capitalization. And I think that overall, the electric vehicle sector is very trendy at the moment, and we're experiencing a lot of speculation with stocks such as Tesla, NIO, XPEV, and there's really a lot of speculation around those stocks. And the speculation that we have seen in 2020 around the electric vehicle sector reminds me of the cryptocurrency speculation that we have seen in 2017. Remember that in 2017, everyone was investing in the cryptocurrencies, everyone was trying to find the next Bitcoin. Well, I feel that the electric vehicle sector right now is subject to a lot of speculation, and it's really more of a trend thing that they're experiencing right now, exactly like what the cryptocurrencies have experienced in 2017. But I think that NIO has the potential to go higher just because of the speculation that there is around it. However, when we look at the fundamentals, I really have doubts on their long-term potential. On the other hand, there are a lot of successful companies that have started by making net losses after net losses for several years. Amazon, for example, had net losses for the first years of inception and then became profitable later on. And it's one of the most powerful companies on the planet right now, so who knows where NIO will be in several decades. However, we cannot deny the fact that NIO is not Tesla. It does not benefit from the brand recognition that Tesla has, and I feel that NIO is a lot more susceptible to be affected by other car manufacturers getting into the electric vehicle sector, such as Mercedes, BMW, General Motors, and I feel that if those competitors are actually doing a very good job at producing affordable electric vehicles, NIO could completely be wiped out of the surface of the electric vehicle sector. And in my opinion, NIO is part of the high risk, high reward type of investments. 2020 has been the proof that the stock could rise to the point where the market cap surpassed General Motors 1. So who knows where the speculation will bring NIO stock. I think part of a bigger portfolio, NIO should be a small position so as to take advantage of a potential rise. But I think it's very important to consider NIO as a high risk type of investment and not put too much money on NIO. And in my opinion, if you have a portfolio that is big enough and you can afford having a small position on NIO, well, I think it's worth buying some shares. However, if you're capital limited, I think it would be better to pass on NIO rather than trying to speculate on it. If you have any stock that you'd like me to review, please comment it below. Type the ticker of the stock and say please review it, and I'll review it in the next videos. I hope you enjoyed this video about NIO and it gave you some perspective on what are the bullish points and what are the bearish points. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to comment them below. I'll see you in the next video, and in the meantime, I wish you all the best.